Welcome to Reel45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hype. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Reel45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Hey, Reel45. Yeah, Reel45. Show them how we do it, man. Yeah.
Welcome to Reel45 episode 22. And thanks to Titus or Dirt, be sure to check them out on their Facebook page and Instagram. And hi, Greg.
Hey, Stefan, what's cooking, man?
I don't know. It's so much snow outside, so I don't know how to say that.
You're not cooking?
I'm not cooking at all.
I've been following your weather there, and I'm very close to leaving the California shores to head back over there and yeah, hopefully cook the weather up a little bit for you. But man, it's been crazy, right? The last couple of weeks, and just always below freezing, and it just seems like snow comes every other day or something. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
No, it's not crazy much snow, but it comes some every day, and then some of the days are warmer in the days, so it's above the zero, so it melts and then it's getting cold again.
Man, is it for you guys? I mean, this is probably one of the better winters you've had for a while.
Yeah, I think so. Today was a really good day. The sun was shining. Actually, my daughter Alva, I have to say this was so cool, because I told them at home that you are leaving from the States and going home, not home, but come to Sweden.
Second home.
Yeah. Home for me anyway.
Yeah, right.
And she stood, looked out of the window and said to my wife, Greg is coming home, and it's always sunny when he comes home.
What? I love that girl.
Yeah.
Cool. She just won me over. Big.
Yeah, she wants to have a fika with you.
Yeah, hey, why not? A fika in the sun, because when I come, the sun's coming with me.
It always does.
Oh, what a... Well, let's hope that that's true, right? Because I saw you sent me a picture earlier, and the sun was blasting over, like glaring across the white snow, and it looked beautiful. But yeah, I imagine it's still not extremely warm.
No, and the sun is just here for like 10 minutes, and then it goes away again.
Well,
but at least it's brighter.
That's right. Even those 10 minutes, it's worth it.
Yeah. No, but when we get up now in the morning in like 7, 8, it's bright outside. So that's good.
Have you guys done any skiing or anything like that, or polka or?
Yeah, some polka, but not that much skiing actually. I am supposed to ski this today. You know, not downhill, but on skis.
Oh, like cross country?
Yeah.
All right. And you had to cancel it because we're doing a recording?
Yeah.
You're such a good guy. I love it. I love the commitment to the podcast.
You have to do the most important thing.
You know, that's right.
Yeah.
I like it how you have your priorities in place.
Yeah.
It's important to get your priorities right. So the skiing can come later. You know, it was rad. You know, one thing to another. I was watching the news yesterday, and it came across our morning news that a study over the last 50 years from the University of Gothenburg has proven that exercise is a key element to preventing dementia.
Oh.
And what do you call dementia in Sweden?
Dement. It's the same thing.
Dement. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was pretty impressed because, you know, it was right there broadcast. The Swedes, they know their stuff. They've been studying this over 50 years, and they're saying that they found that it's proven to exercise every day, 30 minutes every day at least, and it will help to prevent dementia. So you Swedes, man, you're clever people.
We just have to do it.
That's right.
We're not that clever. We know that we have to do it, but we don't.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Exactly. But that's really cool. I mean, it's back to the priorities, I think. 30 minutes, you just should have time for it.
It's just 30 minutes, right?
Yeah. Go up 30 minutes earlier.
And it's the same, like you told me too, about the lady there in Sweden that did the study where you, when you're working at your job and you sit down on your desk all the time, you got to stand up.
Yeah, exactly.
Stand up. That's it. Well, I can't remember the exact amount of time, but that's a good thing to practice, so you don't just get complacent in your chair. You actually get up and move your body.
Exactly. So every time you sit down, you have to sit down 10 times.
Right, exactly. And then if you could step it up then too. So every time you come up, you can do it dab.
Oh yeah.
Dab. Right.
And every other time on the left and right.
Left and right. Then it's more like 3D type training too. So that way you're really moving your body both sides and you're getting your balance and your coordination correct. So dab.
Maybe you can do a video on that.
Yeah, you can see me, but nobody else can. That's probably better.
Probably.
Normally, I need a couple of drinks before I would start dabbing in front of people.
Yeah, me too. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so you're coming back and going to Poland quite quick.
More or less. I will head back over that direction to the European shores again, and pretty much straight to Poland just for team presentations and practice sessions and everything, is providing the weather plays part. But it seems like the last week had been pretty decent weather, warming up, and you're starting to see a lot of practices going on in different tracks around Poland, in Croatia, of course, and places where the weather is better. But now we're coming to the serious part and supposed to start the real team training and testing and all that. And the actual weather is going the wrong way. So, but it's classic springtime, right? It can be great 1-2 days, and the next day it's below freezing, and then it goes up to 14 degrees. And here we go. But that's all right.
That's all right.
The hardest part is leaving the Pacific side here. It's, we've had a little bit of rain and our cool weather, which is probably, those cold days of like 14, 15 degrees Celsius. Cold. It's cold.
That's cold. I had a friend that came home from California last week, and she said it was 24 degrees.
You have to stand in the middle of your shorts.
Yeah, exactly.
So the air can go up and down, up and down, and just cool down all the warm parts.
Yeah.
But she probably told you that, right?
Yeah, she did. She had a skirt, I think.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, right. Okay, so... Well, guys in shorts and girls in their skirts, that's all right. What it is. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's a free world.
It's a free world, yeah. So the actual racing starts the 8th of April.
The official league starts April the 8th for us, and I start beforehand in just over a week and a half at the Speedway Best Pairs in Torun. Also in Poland too. That's they kind of start the season off with that event, which was pretty cool because no one's really been active in too many races, just pre-season practices and stuff like that. But this one, I'm competing in the monster team together with Paweł Przepelski and Chris Holder. So we will kick off there, and I'm not sure exactly what the team placings are at the moment, but for me, I'm pretty excited. I haven't been on the bike for a while, and not in the race mode, but I'm been riding and testing and getting myself all back into shape, and things feel good so far. But you never know until the tapes go up.
Nah, that may be true, but I mean the feeling starts coming, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can say that. It's been coming now for quite a few weeks. Every year we say the same. As soon as New Year's comes, it feels like the treadmill picks up pace, and doesn't matter as you try to slow the treadmill down, it just picks up speed constantly, and suddenly it's the beginning of the season. You're just running, and it's Monday and it's Friday. It's Monday and it's Friday, and the kids are going to school Monday and they're off over the weekend on Friday, and it just feels like the weeks fly by. So yeah, it's a good thing, but at the same talk, it's like, what happened to those years when you were a kid and Friday took forever to get to? It's like, oh, it's just Monday. Oh, It's just Tuesday. And nowadays it just feels like, man, can we just I can't wait for the middle of the week just so we can maybe stop. Slow down a little bit.
Yeah. I remember the spring breaks, not the spring, the summer breaks.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a whole year. And now the summer is like, choom, and it's gone.
Try to stop the clock, right?
Yeah.
It's nuts. And it's just life, of course. We're all much more busy than we were when we were kids too. So
that's true.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Talking about school, we're having a situation in school with one of my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a quite hard time, I think, with bullying and stuff like that.
Like she's getting bullied.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had mentioned this when you were here before. Really? So it's still continuing?
Yeah, and I think it's on the top of the mountain right now. Yes, it's quite hard, but I was thinking about how, is there anything of this kind of things in Speedway with the young guys or even with the older guys?
I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm the bully sometimes, but no. You know what? When it comes like that, I wouldn't say amongst the riders there's so much bullying, but probably, with not overstepping the boundary here in a conversation like this, there's between promotions and federations and riders and associations like that. There's always a level of authority at some point amongst certain people, and you have to establish yourself that, you got to stand up for your rights. It is a free world. Yeah. We all ride under specific conditions or specific contracts and stuff like that, which it's your choice whether you sign on the dotted line and agree to all that fine print, or do you look it over and try to negotiate. So, however, a lot of contracts these days are, if you want to ride, you sign the contract. If you don't want to ride, don't sign it. So it's really, when you sign it, it feels like some of the authority can be really overly utilized periodically. Mm-hmm. But again, I think that's up to you to have, a strong backbone and be strong-willed minded, or, and it can be in the personality too. And obviously we're not kids like that, like they're happening at school, but unfortunately in our cases these days, you have to have lawyers and stuff like that too, which is so different than it was back when I first started. It was like some of my contracts were just a handshake and honored like no big deal for years at a time. We'd sign the contract at the end of the year just so that they could put it in the books as, yeah, we signed a contract. But yeah. It's, I don't know, there's, I think every rider's probably got some situation. I know they have. I've heard a lot of stories, and it's sad that it has to be like that. But in this day and age, until the riders and promoters and associations or federations can actually have their own source of commitment and working together, I think it's going to continue to be that way. So you never want to see unions and things like that happen, but in this day, I think it's probably adamant that at some stage over the next years that there will have to be some sort of formation of riders working together to achieve the same thing, and together working with the federations and the your local nationalities to try to make a good collaboration and make it work good for the future. Because right now it feels like it's a little bit, maybe it's a little bit one-sided. But that's just my opinion.
That must be hard for the young guys that doesn't have the experience and the balls for it. Or what do you say? Or
for sure.
And if they don't have this, how do you say that? Like Luke has you, like I can't even.
Well, I mean
Swedish, but
yeah, you mean like someone that has, I would say I've been around in the game
like
for
a
while.
role model, or yeah.
Oh, I hear you. Well, yeah, I don't see myself as a role model either. I'm just, we're all in this together. Of course, we all want to win that doesn't make me any better than one of the kids that's just starting out. It just makes me more experienced and probably a little bit more open to addressing situations in another way, because I feel that, strong in my beliefs, and I've showed that, I'm here to help the sport, to help the fans, to help the sponsors, and to help, most importantly, help my team win. So I don't ever do anything. I feel like I'm a teacher's pet in that way, I never really do anything wrong. And often you think the way you get penalized, I really wish I would have done something wrong so that I can justify my penalty. But sometimes you're just penalized for being good, and that's the sad part. And some of these kids, they don't know what's going to happen, and I try to educate these guys the best that I can. Like Luke Becker now, who's traveling with me on my trip over, and I traveled with Brock Nickel last year too, and spent a little bit of time with some of these guys in the winter. And Luke in particular is so open and so interested to figure out. He's kind of an introvert type of person, but there's in no way is he ever going to be bullied. He's very strong in that way, but he takes a lot in and he listens to a lot. And I'm just trying to let him know that this is how it is. You have to stand up for what you believe in. You don't want to overstep the boundary, but you need to, if you feel strongly about something, probably you're right. You need to be smart in many ways, but in this day and age, he's the future, and he's one of the key guys. If he's educated properly, or the way I feel properly is that he might pick up a few great tools and go on and be able to transform the sport in the future, things that we've not been able to achieve in our career so far. So hopefully he'll be able to be one of those guys that will grow together with some of the other youngsters that are coming up now, are very strong-minded, got big shoulders, and ready to keep Speedway growing and keep Speedway great. So
yeah, I can concentrate about driving or racing instead of all of the paperwork and shit around.
You got that right. I took the words right out of my mouth. It is like that. I feel sometimes it's all the things you have to do and all the contracts and all the stuff. I mean, it's the way it is today because everything's becoming more and more professional, which is great. But sometimes you get to the races and you forget about so many regulations or rules and things like that when you're thinking, oh no, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. I was supposed to do this, supposed to do that. And you got to have people around reminding you constantly too about this. And when all you really want to do is put your focus on riding your bike.
Mm-hmm. That's what you should do.
It's the way of the world.
Yeah. It's a whole company to drive a bike.
You know what it is? I have 3 full-time mechanics, a manager, and you.
Yeah.
And it's those people that you have to, and often things can get overlooked just because things change quite often too, and you get into your regular routines, your regular roles, and you have to be on your pace or on your game so you don't miss something or find yourself going, you get in trouble or you get fined or disciplined for something that you really truly weren't aware of for some mistaken reason.
Oh yeah, it's hard, but this is fun to hear because you don't understand how it works.
No, and contracts we can only say so much too, and the way it's written. So I just elaborate openly about how I would like to see things be so mutual and grow together. And of course we have to follow the guidelines and have a specific pattern for media and television and sponsors recommendations or requirements and all sorts of marketing stuff like that. But you don't want to see it take away from the key element, which is winning races and putting on a show for their point. Their team, they want their team to win, but at the same time, it's also a show. So even if your team's winning and it's not a show, it's something isn't always going to add up. So you need to have both elements.
Oh, I hear you.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's good. Should we talk about something more uplifting, or should we say Gumball last week? We talked about them in several episodes now, and now the race has been done. You
know what? The Gumball is, talk about uplifting. at the same point. It's uplifting, and it's like, I always think over here when we have the Olympics every year, I mean, forever, there's always been this commercial that they play, and they always talk about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. And boy, did you see that at the Gumball. The thrill of victory was unreal. And the agony of defeat, like my son Wilbur, was just like, that's it. The world's over. It's going to end. The sky's falling, But he's so quick to bounce back, which is great. But we had some issues with his bike on the practice day, and I couldn't repair the engine. So fortunately, Colton Hicks' father, Bob Hicks, Colton, who we helped in the 250s last year, him, amongst others, the Williams family, Chad Williams, and there's so many people that come to the rescue. Hey, we got parts, we've got this, we got engines. What do you need? And in the end, our friends there, Bob Hicks, insisted that we take his engine, because we helped them out last year, which is, they didn't need to do that. But they even took the motor out of the bike and put the motor in the bike for me and just said, nope, let us do something because you took care of us last year. We're taking care of you now. Like, that's cool. Super cool. So they went out of their way, and we're so grateful, that these kind of, the sport is a family. So they put a second motor in for Wilbur, and he got to start the event in fine form like he did, and had difficult time getting out of the starts. The motor would react a little different than his, but man, he had some speed when he got going and started passing people and going to the outside and the inside. And I think he had 2 seconds in his first 2 rides, and then he won his 3rd ride pretty convincingly because he just managed to get it to the corner first. And then in his 4th ride, something happened with the carburetor or something, and it loaded up, and the bike completely stalled when he dropped the clutch. So he got a 0 and missed the main event by 1 point.
No.
So that was like gumball explosion, disaster.
Disaster.
It's like,
I actually saw it live.
Did you?
Not everything, but I looked in like 1.5 hours or something.
How rad.
That was really cool. Just to see him ride, and I saw that thing that he talked about when he come on the outside and then the inside, and I was like, yeah, go Wilbur, but he didn't hear me.
Oh, he heard you. He was trying, and it was pretty deep and sticky because it's been really damp and moist. So Kelly had a hard time getting the track to pack in hard. So Wilbur was putting it out there, and his little bike, it's not that high off the ground. And he went into the dirt a couple of times outside of the other kids with a lot of speed, a lot more speed than normal. And I'm like, it all looked great. But suddenly he went into, something that was probably, 4 or 5 inches deep. And that's about how high his bike is off the ground. So when he leaned it over, it just dug in like a big shovel and almost pitched him over the handlebars a couple times. But he managed to save it and recovered and pulls it off. I was just standing with my dad going, this is insane. Look at him. He's riding it like a long track. And this track's, it's 120 meters or something, or 150. So,
so cool.
It was awesome. But some of the kids, Sebastian Palmese, our recent guest on the show too, he won his first Gumball Rally. He did so good. And even he had a little bit of trouble, one engine failure, and he still managed to come out on a second bike and win the main event. So he is a pretty happy camper right now. So it almost feels like they celebrated more than he went in the national championship. I love it.
That was so cool. I saw that, and the speaker was like, when they lift him up, I don't know.
I'll throw him in there. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, oh, that's how you did in the back old days. You threw them in there like that.
These days you got to be careful. You might get a lawsuit if you drop them.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so rad. Sebastian was awesome. And little Travis Horn, he won Wilbur's class, the 150 class that they were riding in, or 140s, whatever they are. And he rode convincingly, really good. These guys, Travis Horn, Owen Williams, these 2 kids in particular, which are similar age to Wilbur, a little bit younger, and they ride speedway, they ride flat track, they do road racing. I mean, their dads are full gas constantly. They go from, they just, they got bikes for every occasion, or swapping tires around. And wow. Even Owen's dad, Chad, gave me a set of road tires for Karl's, my little Karl's, little 50cc
road
motocross bike,
tires.
so he can go ride on the road. And he's really thrown out the bait for me to join these guys. And I really can't wait to do that. It would be so fun. So no, we've had a lot of fun so far this winter, and I got to hang out with some of these other dads that are super inspiring, super helpful. And we're all out there. We want to see your kid win, but in the end, they go home with a smile on their face one way or another.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so Kalle was on the track too.
Kalle was the king. Of course, he's the King Karl.
It looked like it was so comfortable. It was like on the bike.
He did. He did own the bike. He actually, we got his little bike's a little bit too tall. He's got a TTR 50. It's a little motocross bike, and he rides that around. But it's a little too tall for him to stand on his own. So we were loaned a bike from Joe Jones, one of the sidecar guys, and a good friend of ours. He lent him a little Pee-wee that he could ride on, just so he could touch the ground. And the amount of laps he did in the pits, just practicing, hanging off the bike like he was a full-on slider, leaning over and feet off and doing all the sounds. And I think he did more laps than anybody without even racing. And he wins the hearts of all of us. He's my kid, and I'm biased, but he's such a little love, and he's such a big smile and always happy and brings the best out in everybody. So even Curtis Hamill's girlfriend, Casey, she sent me a message and says, I have to tell you this. I saw Karl practicing in the pits, and I walked over to him and said, good job, buddy, looking good, or something like that. She said to him, and he just looked up at her and winked. That's it. You got it, baby. I love that. Yeah, so I think Curtis almost got his hands full now. Karl's on the way out. You better watch out. So cool.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It was an awesome day, and Kelly Inman put on another unbelievable show. The guy's, he's like a father figure. He's a promoter. He's everything. And he really did. Everything goes for those kids. He raised about, I think it was over $7,000 in cash. Wow. That was donated. I can't even say that he raised it. People just donated it because Kelly is so good about networking and just being friends. And people they just want to put money into his project, and this project for the kids, I should say. So all that money is divided down into all the different classes as a donation. So the kids are getting an envelope with some bucks in it to go home and buy an In-N-Out burger or buy more gumballs or in my case, I stole the money from them and put it to the gas in the truck. But I'm a bad dad.
Yeah, somebody has to pay that.
Yeah, I mean, come on, life's brutal, man.
That's how it works when you grow up.
Yeah, that's right. So hats off to Kelly Inman and Industry Racing. They did such a great job, and now it's the build up to the Gumball Rally 2019. So it all starts now.
It's cool. And it's really cool to follow him on Facebook, because my Facebook was like overall with all of these donations.
It's so cool. It's so cool. He's good at it. That's what he said. He goes, man, I just don't know what to do. I get money sent to me in checks and stuff I'm overwhelmed, he said. And one way I keep telling him, you're crazy, man, because you start paying these kids to do the Gumball Rally, and then they start expecting it. So it's like, it's not that much money. Maybe they can buy their mom and dad a Coke or something after the race. I don't know.
But anyway, it's a cool thing.
Yeah. So it's a great deal, and it's just family fun for everyone. So hope to see you there next year.
Yeah, I hope so. It would be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Now I know.
I want to see a couple of foreign riders come over. I'd love to get some Swedes or Danes or Poles and English come over and jump in and play with these guys. They would love it.
How do you do that?
I don't know. We just have to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it works. I mean, that's up to Kelly. We just put it on him. He doesn't have he has nothing else to do every day. So let's just give him this job.
This is a challenge, Kelly.
Mm-hmm. Because you're so bored and you have nothing on your plate every day.
Oh, that's true. Next year, there will be some European guys.
That's right. Exactly. It would be really cool. It'd be really cool. And I'm sure that it's not out of reach. It could be done, and just to spread the word. And it's a long way to travel, but I tell you what, if you get a taste of those gumballs, man, it's addicting.
I have to teach Vilda then. I have 1 year.
You gotta. It doesn't even take. She could do it in a week.
In a week?
Yeah, just buy her some tuggummi, some gumballs, and let her chew on a couple of those, and then she'll just go, "Where did I get more of those?" I know exactly where to get them.
Check.
It's a problem.
I just had to write down there.
It's industry racing, and it's near Pomona in California. We have to go there and get them. It's the only place you can buy them.
That's true. She's up for it, I think.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
And tell Alva I'll have the son with me.
Oh yeah. Well, that's cool. And you're leaving soon, so maybe we had to wrap it up, or?
Pretty much, man. I'm zipping up the last bag here and out ready to grab my ride to the airport. So it's unfortunate. I got a really good buddy here, my neighbor Scott Matthews, who lives down the street here. He's become my Uber driver for the day. He's pretty funny. So we see each other. He's retired from work now and worked for the school district for a lot of years. I think you met Scott when you were here.
With a fishing boat.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And cool dude. We talk about stuff. He walks by every day on his daily walks, and we have a chat here and there. And so the kids get out of school right about the time I'm heading out. So he offered. I should say I asked him, and he was quick to say, "No problem. I'll give you a ride to the airport."
That's perfect.
That's a good dude. So thanks, Scott. I know you'll be listening to this. Him and his family, his wife Nina and his daughter Bella, they listen to these podcasts all the time. So I hope you are too.
Yeah.
So other than that, it's pretty much wrapping it up, and I'll be seeing you on the other side of the water here in no time.
I'm looking forward to it.
Or the other side of the snow.
I can take it away before you come.
We haven't even been talking that long, and I can see, fortunately I can see you on this while we're doing this podcast on our video link. I can notice that looking at your window out the back there, I could see daylight when we started, and it looks dark now.
It's actually really dark right now. It goes fast.
That's it.
Yeah. But soon the days will be like 24 hours a day. We'll have sun. Not really.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, much more
or less.
Yeah, more or less. So yeah.
Well, I'll be heading that way, and I'll be hooking up with a few names from the racing industry over the next 2 weeks. So you guys can look forward to some interesting podcasts coming up in the weeks ahead. And as always, I think you probably agree with me on this one, Stefan. We would like to get some of your thoughts out there, you listeners. Tell us who you want to hear. Who you want to hear from. Who do you want us to talk to? Yeah. We've got a list of people we're going to talk to, but we're always curious. Who's on your wish list? Let us know. Send some pictures. Send an email or a photo, or actually, I should say, post it to our Instagram or our Facebook with your thoughts. Give us questions, and we want to hear from you.
It would be cool to have some selfies too when you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, totally. And please keep them, above board. We don't want selfies from,
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Selfies
like,
with a face.
Yeah, your face. Yeah.
Faces.
Yeah. Selfie us, man. Tell us who you want to hear from. Let's talk some trash.
Yeah. So cool. Be sure to follow us and send us some faces. And see you next week.
For sure. Follow us, like us, share us on everything on Podbean, iTunes, and Acast. You can listen up there, and be sure on social media. We're on Instagram at the Reel45 Podcast, at Reel45 Podcast. And again, you guys share it out there. And again, thanks to our friends at Titans of Dirt for helping us out. So have a great week. Look forward to catching up with all you guys sooner than later on or off the track. You're in to win.
Bye.
Bye, Stefan.
Welcome to Reel 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hype. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Reel 45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Hey, Reel 45, yeah, Reel 45. Show them how we do it, man.